Welcome to episode 9 of the Friends2Gether podcast, the intergenerational project designed to bring people from 18 to 25 and 55 years and over together in a skill-sharing activity where they can be fun and creative. So I've got a group of people, what's it, a gaggle of people in here today. You won't believe, listeners, how many people I've got in today. It's going to take us half an hour to do the introductions, I think.
You're calling us geese.
Shh, we haven't introduced you yet. You don't exist until I formally exist. In communist Oasis party here, you don't exist until I introduce you, all right, EJ? Right, so we're going to go around the room. Should we go clockwise or anti-clockwise? Let's go anti-clockwise. So we've got Tony with us. Do you want to say hello, Tony?
Hello, Tony.
We've got Phil with us today. Hello, Phil.
Hi everyone.
We've got M with us.
Hello there.
And we've got EJ with us.
Hi, everyone.
We've got Jack back with us.
I'm Jack, hello.
Less laughing at other guests and more introducing yourself, please. And we've got Sonia with us today.
Hi, everyone.
Sonia's laughing. And we've got a special guest with us. We mentioned her on the podcast a few times. We've got the illustrious former colleague and now guest, Courtney.
Yay!
That's me.
Welcome
Hello.
back, Courtney. Yeah,
Hello,
lovely
everyone.
to see you.
Thank you for having me.
And if there's anything worse for a microphone than clapping, I don't know what it is. So we just completely ruined all of the signals there. Well done. Yeah,
Don't worry, we won't do it again.
I'll edit that bit out. Yeah, there'll be no periods that you need to clap. And last but not least, it's Molly on her last podcast. So Molly is unfortunately leaving us for pastures new. So this is her last podcast, isn't it, Molly?
It is indeed. Sorry, was I supposed to say more? Hello, everyone.
Yeah, hello, we'll do.
And technically goodbye.
Hello and goodbye. Yeah, we'll do the goodbyes at the end.
Say hello, wave goodbye.
Yeah, so the topic today, I haven't told any of the guests this, and Molly knows what it is, so maybe we should go with Molly first.
I was just thinking in my head, I haven't got an answer
your
for
answers
this
are.
at all.
So what we're going to be discussing today, I'll just bring it up on my screen, and Tony, you sat next to me, you'll be able to get a sneak preview of what we're going to talk about here, Tony, if your eyesight's that good. But we're going to be doing the dinner party guest question today. If you were having your dream dinner party, which 5 guests would you invite?
5?
5, yep. And I've got you some headers, so I'm going to lead you into certain people that you're going to invite to your categories, Molly. That's right. Yeah. I'm going to give you some headings and categories. Phil has busily got his pad and paper out to make some notes here.
Yeah.
So the first one that you're going to invite to your party of 5 is a funny one. So maybe a comedian or a comedic actor or someone that you like their personality. So a funny one. Who's your favourite funny man? We'll go with Tony first. So your dream dinner party, Tony. Who's the funny man that you're inviting to your dinner party?
He's died last year or earlier on this year. He does that 30-second countdown thing. He's with the glasses. Anyone else?
Oh, Sean Locke. He was going to be
Sean
my
Locke.
answer.
Sean
He's
Locke,
brilliant.
yeah,
He's my
or
favourite.
Sean Locke or Mick, out, him.
Yeah.
That'd be
Mickey
one of them
Flanagan.
two.
Mickey Flanagan.
Mickey Flanagan.
Yeah.
Sean Locke, though, it would be.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you, Sean Locke.
I used to be very good friends
Good
with
solid
his
start.
nephew.
Well, you were friends with Sean Locke's nephew?
No,
or
unfortunately not. Mickey Flanagan.
Mickey Flanagan.
No offence to Mickey Flanagan.
Mickey Flanagan, who, of course, is a Tottenham fan like myself, so good props to
Of
Mickey
course.
Flanagan. I think, is Sean Locke a Tottenham fan as well? Yeah, I think he might be.
Was he on any TV programmes or?
Countdown conundrum thing, when they were
8 out of 10 cats does
yeah,
countdown.
8 out of 10
Yeah,
cats does
that's
countdown.
really good.
With Jimmy Carr and different, but he was one of the team captains, and they used to have a, what do they call them? The thing you bring with you.
Oh, a mascot.
Yeah, that's mine. All
He
right.
had,
Phil is my mascot for today. Well done.
Molly, could you bring up on your information device a picture of Sean Locke
Oh, yeah,
to
that'd help.
show Phil who he is? You'll recognise him, Phil.
He had an extremely dry sense of humour. Quick-witted, but very dry. It's very good.
He's got a similar voice to you, actually, Phil, I think.
not
I don't know if
another,
anyone else...
with that other
South
guy.
Londoner.
No, what was that guy they said they remind me of?
Louis Theroux.
Louis Theroux.
Yeah.
That's more look than voice, though, isn't it?
All right.
For those listening on the radio, Phil is the spitting image of Louis Theroux.
Someone mentioned that to me at Brewing Biscuits on
Yeah,
Wednesday.
for the first time, and she was soiling herself, and she's like, "I'd never realised before, but Phil does look like Louis Theroux."
Oh yes,
Yeah,
yes,
Sean Locke.
Sean Locke.
yes.
You recognise him,
Yeah.
Phil? Do you recognise Sean Locke?
I think he's been on some comedy shows before that. I think.
Would I
quite a
Lie to You
few.
and all those kind of panel
Yeah.
shows? Yeah.
But even before that, he was in some sort of sitcoms. I
Yep, so
believe.
that's a nice solid start there from Tony. Who's your funny one? Your ideal dinner party guest then, Phil? Who are you inviting? Who's your comedian or comedic actor or someone that you...
Well, preferably I only like one funny person at a dinner party, me. But Tony Hancock.
You're so modest.
Tony Hancock, yeah, he was good. He was,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Very impressive, yeah. What was it you liked about Tony Hancock? Just
The dry sense of humour.
you clicked with the sense of humour, did you?
Yeah.
Hancock's half hour.
Yes. Well, that was a long time ago. Some of the people you thought were ever so funny when you first heard them, you hear them again, you think, oh, that's so great.
Yeah, you're right. I remember watching the film with Steve Martin in it called The Jerk when I was like
Yes.
12 or 13, and I soiled myself with laughter, and I watched it again when I was an adult and I was like, this isn't funny at all.
And you soiled yourself
I think you
again.
need to stop saying soiled yourself, John.
Then I soiled myself with regret that he wasn't as funny as it used to be.
Do you know what soiling yourself
I do,
is?
yeah.
Okay.
I do indeed, yeah.
Just making
When
sure.
it's when he eats chocolate.
Right.
Who are you inviting to your dream dinner party? The funny man, who the comedian, a comedic actor, or someone whose the personality you think is always strikes you.
Ricky Gervais.
Good selection, yeah. It'd be good fare, wouldn't he? And do you like The Office or his stand-up stuff, or
I like his cut and dry humor, you know.
did you like it when he hosted the Oscars? Was it the Oscars he did, or the Golden Globes? But I think he's done both, hasn't he? No, I don't think they'd trust him with the Oscars, would they? That's a bit too dry. EJ, who's the funny one? You're already getting Ricky Gervais because your husband's invited him, but who else are you inviting to your dinner party to sit alongside
I would
Ricky Gervais?
invite Buster Keaton.
Buster Keaton, yeah, he could be funny by not saying anything.
Yeah.
Who was the guy that did the silent films before Charlie Chaplin? It was Charlie Chaplin, and was that Buster Keaton? I think it was actually, wasn't it?
around the same time.
Yeah.
He started his own studios.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew everything about how the camera worked, and
I guess it came with all the special effects stunts they did in those days,
in
didn't they?
Hollywood, because they saw he was making so much money.
Can you imagine,
They
like
took over the
nowadays,
studios.
Hollywood letting Charlie Chaplin, their biggest star, like drop a house on him and like he went through the
That
door
was
and
Buster Keaton,
that was Buster
yeah.
Keaton.
Yeah.
Can you imagine them doing that with their big stars now? They wouldn't get insured for it, would they?
No.
Wow, the planet that must have gone into that if they'd have got it ever so slightly wrong. Oh dear.
Tom Cruise manages to get away with it though, doesn't he?
Yeah, but he hurts himself.
He does his own stunts, doesn't he? Yeah.
Normally they don't let you in films because not just for the insurance, but if you hurt yourself,
It throws the
filming
schedule
is going
behind.
back, yeah.
Yeah.
Mission Impossible's his franchise, isn't it? So it's pretty much what he says goes, isn't it? You know what I mean?
Harrison Ford famously broke his leg, I think, during one of the later Indiana Jones or Star Wars films, and that halted production for like 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah.
They couldn't do a lot.
Didn't Jackie Chan
Oh, he's always injured, isn't
break
he?
his
He puts
ankle
the
or
bloops
something?
at
So
the end.
I think they had to paint his cast so that it looked like the bottom of a trouser leg and a shoe.
And he carried on doing his stunts, probably knowing him.
Probably.
Jack, who would you invite to your dream dinner party as a
Silent
funny man?
Chris Morrison. Oh my gosh, no one knows who he is.
Is he just a friend of yours?
Your mate from school, Chris, oh yeah? Cheeky Chris.
Promo for his aspiring
Is that-
comedian.
This is more damning on everyone else than me.
Chris Morrison.
Yeah, the day-to-day. You don't see Brass Eye?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I
Yeah.
think he did that, but it was day-to-day was the one I got into. So it's a satirical like news program
Yeah, political satire.
where they're just
and all that
taking
kind of stuff.
taking the mickey out of politics and news programs. Absolutely brilliant. I think it's brilliant that stuff. And then he also did the Four Lions.
I've seen Four Lions. Brilliant
So
film.
he's a director as well.
It is absolutely hilarious, that film.
So that's like about terrorists blowing themselves up.
Oh, sounds
Sounds
delightful.
Like,
hilarious.
it's done in a
Really
really,
Three guys in
really
a transit van, is it?
Yeah.
Or two people in a transit van. You know,
Yeah.
bits of it, yeah.
and it's in London, so it's obviously in the wake of 7/7 in London. But he manages to pull it off really well.
I remember I went to a gig the day after the 7/7 and I was on the underground and this tube stuttered to a stop and I thought, my time is up here. I'm going. So I literally
Doesn't make you think about
Why
it.
were you
sawed myself
there
again
the
and
day
got off at the
after?
next. I got off at the next stop and just walked the rest of the way there, even though it's quite far in London. I was like, I ain't getting on the underground today. I ain't getting on a bus. I ain't getting on a train. I just walked all the way there. But you don't realise how small London is. You can walk to most places, can't you?
Yeah.
Really, you can walk to most
They
places.
can get you when you're walking as well. I've heard.
not with a stench when I had to sword myself. I had a 6 foot area around me which no one would approach.
It sounded like a threat, EJ.
Yeah, it did. What's she got under the table?
It's funny how they catch you off guard.
Yeah. When you're least expecting it. You think you're safe away from the trains and the buses, and then you're just walking down the street, soiling yourself happily, and then someone's after you. Sonia, who are you inviting to your dinner party? A comedian or a comedic actor or someone whose personality you think is really funny and would be good grace to have at a dinner party?
Oh, for me, it has to be Eddie Izzard. I love Eddie Izzard. Particularly, I did see him live at the Swan.
Yeah.
A number of years ago, and didn't stop laughing from the moment he opened the show to when he closed it. My face was aching.
He used to do that funny thing about cats with machine guns, didn't he?
Yeah.
Was it drills or machine guns where they're drilling behind the sofa? They're not purring, they're drilling for treasure behind the sofas.
And also with the fact that he was kind of performing in French as well. He was talking about his tour that he'd done in France. So he was demonstrating a bit of his French, and the audience understood what he was talking about. It was just so funny.
He's a politician now, isn't he? I think he was trying to get elected in
Brighton.
yeah.
In Brighton.
I don't know where it was.
Yeah.
Information device, Molly. Can you find out where Eddie Izzard is
Labour.
politicianing? Is that if that's it?
Caroline Lucas is leaving, so there's sort of obviously she's green, but she's got such a mandate in Brighton that he wouldn't win against her. But I think she's
don't
kind
think
of,
he had much following.
Has he not had? Oh, okay.
From what I heard, I could be wrong.
Despite running a marathon every day for the last 10 years.
I know, it's amazing.
Does he?
He's
Maybe he should have read up.
I think he's wasting his time. I didn't know this.
He ain't been about for ages though.
No,
I've seen him, I think, in one ad months ago.
Yeah, he's running in for Labour in Brighton, but yeah, like you say, Green Party are massive in Brighton. So.
There you go. Courtney, who's the funny person at your dinner party?
Funny person at my dinner party would have to be Jim Carrey. I grew up watching all of his films. I was watching them long before I probably should have been, and he's just hilarious. And watching him, I don't know, I think he's just aged beautifully.
Ace Ventura is just a classic, isn't it? I just love watching that.
Incredible. There's so many good one-liners. Dumb and Dumber, Liar, Liar. I could recite to you probably from start to finish. And that's not an exaggeration.
Have you seen the new one? It was out recently, like the last couple of years. Dumberer and Dumberer. There's
Dumb and
Dumberer.
Yeah. He's not in it though, so. Oh, that one.
Yeah, there was one that
there's two. There's like a
Lloyd Bridges?
prequel and a sequel. The sequel was okay.
Is his name Lloyd Bridges, the guy that doesn't know?
I don't know.
Jeff Bridges. Molly, information
Lloyd
device.
Bridges is the father of Jeff.
Is he? There you go. There we go. We don't
I only
need
care
Google.
about
We've got EJ or Google. Yeah, Jim Carrey, good choice. Molly, who are you going for? Who's your comedic hero?
My answer was definitely be Sean Locke. First time I've ever really got very upset when someone had passed away. He was my favourite. Carrot in a Box is one of my favourite clips of all time. It is so good.
I'll show it to you guys later. So the music group, it's a funny clip there. They have to blag, basically. It's like poker, isn't it? Like one of them's got a carrot in a box and the other one hasn't, and they have to try and persuade the other one to swap boxes with them or keep their own boxes. And it's hilarious skit. I think it was on a Jimmy Carr game show, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's on 8 or 10 Cats.
Yeah.
I watch clips back of him all the time because I just found him so funny. And I also went to see John Coleshaw last year.
Oh, the impressionist.
He was so good. And you get the signs of a good impressionist when he's asking the audience to put their hands up and ask who they want to see. That means you can probably do anybody. So, and he was amazing. It was so funny. I like impressionists a lot, but yeah.
Could you do an impression of M's voice?
No, absolutely not.
It's funny, you tend not to see so many impressionists these days. It used to be a big thing, wasn't it? At one time.
Because of social media, anyone that can do one impression sticks it all over TikTok nowadays, and I think they're really good, don't they? But the ones that do loads of different people. Bobby Davray started as an impressionist, didn't he? There's one for the older folk in the room there. The youngsters have lost us.
Why are you looking at me?
Looking around, right?
Even Lenny Henry, you know.
Was he an impressionist?
He used to do. He used to do. Michael Crawford, doing the Betty thing. Yeah. Which is, as I said, when you look at it now, it just looks really bizarre, but
Mike Yarwood was another one.
Yes, he was a famous impressionist. Yeah.
Get your own show doing.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
It was big in the old
Telly.
entertainment stuff. Yeah, the old
how
days.
things have moved.
My one, I think I would go. I've got one of two. Can I mention the two or not?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah.
You're allowed.
Billy
You're allowed.
Connolly was always my dad's
Of
favourite, and
course.
growing up,
Yeah.
he was always a naughty record. He had the LPs, and I wasn't really allowed to listen to him. So there was that air of mystique about Billy Connolly as well, because he was naughty and adult humour that I liked as well. And he's just hilarious. And I think the other one would have to be Rick Mao, because I just love Bottom, and he's just insane. Like watching their live shows, I just in tears of laughter when I was a teenager, and just watching Bottom in general. It's just proper teenager humour, isn't it? It's funny
It's
now when
really
you listen
good.
back to it. He's such a great comedic.
Do you
actor.
still watch Bottom?
I do, yes. I still watch Bottom daily. But, and the funny thing was, my nephew is...
Just wanted to say that.
You did, didn't you? You know what? Rick Mao would love that wherever he is. Rick, he'd love that reference as well. That's why they called it Bottom, because of those very puns and stuff. They thought it'd be nice to see they're watching Bottom on BBC Two and stuff like that. It was all those puns. That's why they called the show that. And it transcends generations as well. My nephew's like 20, and I got him the Bottom DVD box set for Christmas once, and he loves it. Like, it just transcends that humour. It just appeals to teenage boys everywhere. I don't know. Does it transcend to women as well? Do you like Bottom?
I like Bottom.
Yeah.
I like the young ones.
The young ones, yeah. Bottom was better than the young ones, though. I did like young ones.
It's the slapstick
It is,
sort
isn't
of
it? Yeah.
humour of it, isn't it? Coming almost like back to your silent movie kind of thing, you know.
And it's also, I don't know if beautiful is the word, but the friendship that he had with Aid Edmondson, you can see even now when he talks about him, the pain that he's lost his mate, and he's not the same without him around, because he would be the one that he'd tell things that he found funny to, and like they're kind of two peas in a pod. Yeah, and he said, he said, I wish you could have joined us in the writing room, because that's where we had all of our laughs. You know, some of the inappropriate stuff that didn't make it into the show and stuff like that, and they never laughed so much in their lives. There we go. It's a good start. It's a good start, everybody. Second one, we've got a clever or an interesting one, a philosopher or a philanthropist, or someone who you're going to find interesting to have an interesting conversation with. Tony, who's your clever? A philosopher or philanthropist?
Can I pass for a sec? Because I'll have to think about it. So many.
Of course you can. We'll go on to Phil, and then we'll come back to you, Tony. And we'll chat that you're ready after. Phil, who would you invite? Whose brain have you always wanted to pick? Like someone you've considered really clever and equal on the...
I always struggle with the surname. I always mispronounce it.
Smith?
No, Hannah Arendt.
Hannah Arendt.
Yes.
Arendt.
Yes, spell it out to me. Where's it?
No.
Anyway, yes, she's very famous philosopher, sort of just pre and post war.
Yeah.
He talks a lot about what you need to do to keep a healthy democracy, and also, you see, you can see you wouldn't want to come to my dinner parties. Also, also the nature of evil, the banality of evil. You know, yeah. The nice thing about her is she's hated by almost every sector, because she thought for herself rather than put into a pre-existing. Yeah. She sort of came up against every.
Is she still with us, or
no? I think she died a while back. Yeah, famously, she went to the trial of Eichmann in Eichmann, thank you, in Jerusalem, and said he's not evil, he's just stupid. You know, that got her a lot of
incompetent
flack.
Or evil. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yes, he just no imagination as to what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know, just a mindless bureaucrat. So yeah, she came up with a lot of good ideas.
Okay, excellent. That would be an interesting person to talk to. Tony, you ready, or should we go to
No, mine will be a musician, one or two. It'd either be Bob Marley or Lemmy, someone like that, basically. Could just put the live state of head, how interesting they'd be to talk to. So that's all right, isn't it?
It is, but you've stolen number 3. Number 3 would have got under that one.
It's all right. Save one of them for number 3.
Save one of them. Yeah, you can have Bob Marley for one, and then you can have Lemmy for the other one. Who have you got? A clever or interesting one, a philosopher or a philanthropist, or someone whose brains you want to pick and have a good, deep conversation with?
Cornelius Castoriadis. He's a philosopher, and he used, because he died, one of the greatest philosophers and sociologists. And he was born in Greece, but he was living in France for decades.
Recently or back in the...
I saw him in one conference that he made in 1984. So I don't know when he died exactly, but I think he died late 90s, something like that.
Yeah. And you want to pick his brains, spend 10 minutes with him.
What in general terms was his philosophy then?
Anything. He was interested in social engineering and sociology and things like that.
Okay.
And he was analysing things from his prospect. And he's really interesting in his books. They're amazing.
Okay, I'll see if I can catch up on him. Yeah.
EJ.
Now, Chomsky.
Oh, yeah, he's decent, he is, yeah. Yeah. What do you ask him in particular, anything?
I don't think, I just want to hear him speak.
About any topic, you know, he's one of those people that's got a good opinion on most things.
He's like 95,
Yeah.
96 or something, isn't he? Sorry, no, I
He's
don't
not
mean
a
to.
spring chicken, but he's still really interesting.
Yeah.
He's got quite a good line on. So doesn't he talk to Andrew Marr, is it, in one interview with the BBC? And Andrew Marr's like, I can say whatever I like, so I'm not being censored. So Noam Chomsky's a lot about how censorship works and how the
With
media,
linguistics.
the media and corporations basically create they limit the conversation that can take place, and they infiltrate people's minds through just propaganda and stuff.
Well, yeah, the typical of you're allowed to talk whatever you want as long as it's within the spectrum that we tell you to talk about. You can have a lively debate, but don't speak about anything we don't want you to speak about.
Yeah. The Manufacturing of Consent.
Yes.
Was the book / film.
It's a film.
It's quite
Film.
It's on
It's
Netflix,
made into
isn't
a little.
it? Netflix?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
What's the guy's name again?
Noam Chomsky.
It's NOMH, isn't it? Something.
N-O-A-M.
Yeah.
Noam Chomsky. Check him out, Tony.
Not to be confused with Norm.
Not to be confused with Norm from Cheers.
The trouble is, of course, that if you allow complete freedom of one person, you then might find other things offensive, like someone talking about soiling themselves all the time.
You know, but being offended is not an affliction. You don't afflict someone with offence. We can all be offended.
Yeah.
Jack, who are you inviting?
There's too many. Oh, I can't decide. I'm going to say... I want a philosopher, actually, because I quite like mystical, enigmatic people.
Must be why we get on so well.
Just like Tony, yeah.
I don't know. Having done a lot of dry philosophy in my time, I feel like I've just kind of done enough of that. So
Time for some wet philosophy.
yeah. So someone like Friedrich Nietzsche, I think, would be stimulating.
Yeah.
I don't know if he spoke English actually, so I might need to brush up on my German.
It wouldn't be worth it, wouldn't it, just to pick his brain for a bit?
It's good.
You think he's a wet philosopher, Nietzsche?
No, that's
No.
opposite of dry is not wet.
Oh.
I've got. Is it The Interpretation of Dreams by Nietzsche? I think I've got that book at home. Or was it Freud? I think it's Freud's Interpretation of Dreams. And Nietzsche was a student of
Actually,
Freud, wasn't
I
he?
just changed my mind. I'm going to say Carl Jung, actually.
Yeah, Jung as well. Yeah.
Interesting.
Sorry if I've stolen anyone's. No, yeah.
Yeah, Jung's brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant mind. Sonia, who are you inviting to you? A philosopher, a clever person?
In my fantasy dinner party, I'd like to speak with Leonardo da Vinci, I think.
Yeah.
And
Find out how he got up that ladder on those ceilings. Painted so well, with all the blood rushing to his head on the ceiling. What he meant by the Last Supper, and he'd love you with your hair, wouldn't he? Like painting you.
Yeah, well, keep him busy
He'd
for
run
hours.
out of brown ink with the old curls there.
Keep him busy for hours. But just to find out, and if he did have a glimpse on today's world, what he would make of his inventions. Because he'd say, yes, I thought about that.
Yeah.
Just to see what he would make of like sort of today's inventions compared with what he came up with all those years ago, really.
I saw an interesting thing on YouTube that's saying that they've been doing studies into whether creative people are, it's a different IQ, and some people argue that the creative brain, they're cleverer in their own way than people that are academically clever. But the studies they found were that the creative people, all it was that they're more open to play. It didn't involve intelligence. It was more that they allow themselves to still be childlike and play, and whereas a lot of people close themselves up when they're an adult. I'm not doing that anymore, it's silly or stuff like that. But creative people are still able to access that part of their brain and their personality where they like playing and having fun and stuff like that. It's to do with their...
And not having a right answer.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
Not caring. They don't care that what other people think of them. They just want to have fun and do stuff and access the childlike part of their psyche where they just did stuff because they liked doing it when they were little. But when adults get older, they kind of stop doing those kind of things.
It reminds me of Brené Brown, who talks about how when you look at kids from quite an early age, there are some kids who are very... If you give them a challenge, they either are very apprehensive about the challenge for fear of failure, or they're someone who just is happy to completely fail.
Yeah, don't mind if they fail.
Ends of the spectrum, and she says those kids you can see that trait quite early.
Yeah.
In kids' development, and
the kids that don't even try because they're afraid of failing, and the ones that go, I don't care if I fail, I'm just going to do it anyway. I'm going to have fun, and yeah. And actually, she's saying that's kind of what you want, really. I guess that would be exactly the same point I made. Is like when you get older, those kids are going to do stuff because they don't care if they fail, and they just doing it for having fun. Whereas the kids that are afraid of failing, they're never going to do anything. Are they? I'm not going to try that in case it's not very good. Or perfect.
You've actually stolen my interesting person there, Jack,
what?
which is Brené Brown, shame and vulnerability researcher. Absolutely incredible person to listen to and watch. Anyone who hasn't listened to them, she did a TED Talk, which you can find on YouTube. That one's like a 20-minute one, isn't it? I can't remember.
Yeah.
TED Titbit.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Very, very interesting.
The power of vulnerability.
Yes.
Cool, isn't it?
Yes. There's all sorts. She's done really interesting to listen to podcasting. But yeah,
I do. Sorry, I was just butting in. I do some of the Befrienders volunteer training, and use some of her about how to talk to when you're working with someone on one-to-one, how to talk to your befriendee and how to help someone. Some of her stuff, like the stuff on empathy.
That was the clip you gave us.
Yes, that's
empathy
her.
Versus sympathy.
Yes,
Oh,
that
she
was her.
very good.
Yeah.
Very good indeed.
like deep South Texan.
Yes.
Draw.
Yeah,
That'd be it.
Incredible. Yeah, blew my mind.
Yeah.
It changed a lot for me. Yeah, I think both Brené Brown and I must say another sort of intelligent, interesting person that I would invite would have to be John Kabat-Zinn, who is an American professor who arguably is one of the people that made mindfulness meditation more accessible for Western civilization. He's done just incredible talks are available. I can't remember if Brené Brown and John Kabat-Zinn have done a podcast together, or if this was one of my dream dinner party situations where I've just thought that would be incredible. I think if I could get those two in a room, that would just, yeah.
That's the idea of this. You're getting them in a room with your comedian
if you're
as well.
listening.
Yeah. Come along. And Molly, who's your philosopher, philanthropist, a clever or interesting person that you're inviting to your
I am
dinner
going to go
party?
so cliche and go back to my geography roots. And it has to be David Attenborough. I mean,
Good job.
That does surprise me.
yeah. I mean, there's loads of philosophers that I like, but ultimately my heart is with the geography and the nature of the world. And he actually, he's very interesting to me. I read a lot about what he's... I know everyone knows who he is, but I'm just fascinated by him. I love his work in the Galapagos Islands as well. And his brother used to work alongside my grandfather, as my grandfather was a professor of geography as well. So that's what made me fall in love with geography, was my granddad talking about it. No, his other brother. Yes, he used to be a professor at Leicester University along with my grandfather. So, that would obviously be my answer.
Attenborough, not David Bellamy. David Bowie.
We have this thing in our house at the moment where, well, I say at the moment, it's been for the last few years because Attenborough's one of those, he could be one of the UK's sweethearts. And so people feel so sort of emotionally attached to him that every time my husband will say, oh no, if he's like missed a payment for something or something like that, and I'll just hear him in the next room and say, oh no, no, Attenborough. Like, no. Because I just think...
I know, yeah. He won't be
I'm
around
dreading
forever.
that day. He won't. You better get your invitation.
I know. That's one of the reasons.
Can I have two again? I can't choose between Alan Watts or Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson would be amazing to have at your dinner party. The interesting conversations you'd have with everyone. On everything. Yeah, just a brilliant mind.
For the sake of the uninitiated.
He's a clinical psychologist.
Is he?
I
should know about him then.
He's a Canadian.
From Canada, yeah. And he has a series of... He puts all his lectures online, famously, so people can watch him and learn from his... he wants to share his knowledge and stuff, so he puts all of his lectures online. And he's got a series on the Bible. He goes through the Bible and compares the archetypes to Freud and Jung and stuff like that, and he uses the characters in the Bible to go through that. And he does a really interesting one with Lion King as well, and he uses the Disney film Lion King and Pinocchio. He does one on Pinocchio as well. But it's really interesting. Check him out if you can.
Will.
And Alan Watts is a famous philosopher who I think he grew up. His parents were in the church, I believe, and then he went on to study Eastern philosophy and religions and stuff, and travelled around the world and studied all different kinds of religions. And he was kind of a mix match of all of the religions, but a philosopher at the end of it. He was a very wise man, and a lot of his talks are still available. Has everyone ever heard of Alan Watts? Zen Buddhism as well and stuff like that. But he grew up as a Christian and knowledgeable about all religions and the history behind them and stuff like that. Yeah, but very interesting guy to listen to, Alan Watts or Jordan Peterson. Tony, the next on my list, as we know, because of our spoiler, is a singer or an artist. Who's going to play the piano or the guitar for you at the end of the night? Who's going to get up and do a turn to keep it with your guests entertained? Are you sticking with Lemmy or are you changing your mind?
Hieronymus Bosch. You said artist. So Hieronymus Bosch, 15th century painter.
That's a good
hang wallpaper.
I wasn't expecting to come out with that.
John does not look impressed.
So he's not great at playing the piano, I guess.
No, he can also do that as well, but it would be good on the ceilings, wouldn't he, doing his Da Vinci paintings. So you're sticking with Lemmy, is that what we're saying? No?
Hieronymus Bosch.
Hieronymus Bosch.
He's very inventive in his paintings, isn't he? All his grotesques.
That's it, all the grotesque stuff about hell and all that kind of thing. That's all I've seen.
And triptychs. Well, the Garden of Heavenly Delight, you see that?
No.
Doesn't he make washing machines as well?
Bosch.
Just weird stuff. It just someone showed me a book once in Canada, and I had a look at it, and it was just.
Was it Jordan Peterson?
But yeah, I'd like to see him and suss out. In the 15th century, I think he had like things like giraffes and rhinoceroses in hell and stuff. You know what I mean? Along with soiling themselves.
Soiling gold, yes.
Soiling gold. Dreams of soiling gold.
Just like his interpretations of hell and that sort of stuff. I don't know if he was living it and painting it, or if that's why he was doing it. But
how do you spell
perfect answer? Perfect answer.
Bosch. How do you spell Bosch? How do you spell his name?
I think it's
I
the
think it
usual
is
way.
like the washing machine.
It's the usual way.
BOSCH, is it?
Same way.
Yeah. Phil, a singer, artist who's playing piano or got a guitar at the end of the night, entertaining your guests. Who are you bringing along? Who's a good live? Obviously, myself excluded.
Correct me on this one. Robert Fripp. He's meant to be able to play any sort of guitar, very good technically. King Crimson was his. But he couldn't play blues, so if the rest of the band wanted to annoy him, they'd all strike up a blues tune.
He's got no soul, is that what you're saying?
I don't know. That's all I remember, but I like the music.
Who are you inviting along? Can we guess, or is the main man getting the invite? No?
I would say Johann Sebastian Bach.
Yeah?
Yeah, Bach's great.
Getting him on the piano in the corner there. I think he's a bit wasted as a... Yeah.
Wasted on the
in the corner on the piano, isn't he? Background music. Got Bach in the corner on the piano. a bit of background music and the background music. Yeah,
Classic FM.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
EJ, who are you inviting along? A singer or artist? Who's on the piano or the guitar to entertain your guests?
I would have Mozart because he seems quite fun as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was a lad, wasn't he? Yeah.
Good work. Good work.
Nice.
Jack.
God, now I'm just thinking of classical musicians.
Trumpet. You think of trumpeters?
No, I'm gonna say like one of my favourite types of music is like big orchestral works, but like not the stuff you listen to on Classic FM. Some of that's all right, but like the violent kind of chaotic, crazy stuff like Stravinsky. Stravinsky, apparently Igor Stravinsky, he was I think he was quite a narcissist, so I'm not sure I'd have him to my party. But I might have I think I might have Sibelius actually, who was a Finnish composer, and his music is like uses a lot of brass. It's just extremely immersive, and all you can imagine when you listen to his music is the great mountains in Scandinavia, and it's just very powerful.
Famously, there's a bit of software named after him now.
Yeah, no,
It's
been hijacked.
Yeah, it's a very popular orchestral bit of...
Well, that's when you open up the program, it comes up with a piece by Sibelius as the jingle.
There's an orchestral sort of plug-in that you can put orchestra and strings and stuff on. Yeah, cool. And named after him as well now. Really good bit of kit.
Nice.
Sonia, who are you inviting? A singer in the corner? Who's on the piano or the...
Well, the first thing I'd like to do is
guitar?
ask EJ's guest, Mozart, how he would have planned to have finally finished his Requiem, because he never got round to finishing it, sadly, and somebody else finished it, and it's...
Or what you thought of it, the other person that finished it.
I know. That's what's so sad. It's like,
They're amazing.
How would
you
you
do everything in his head?
Exactly. But for the evening, I'd like to actually have Sting there.
Sting, it'd be good actually.
Just as a acoustic guitar and
you get your money's
voice.
worth as well, because he's a very naturally fit guy, and he's... That's Sting.
Is anyone there?
It's the ghost of Sting.
Well, I hope not. I hope he's not a ghost yet.
Yeah, it'd be good actually.
But,
Wouldn't he? Knocking out a bit of
mellow.
message in the bottle in the corner.
Yeah.
Courtney, which singer or artist are you getting along to play piano or sing on his guitar?
Do you want to guess, John? Who would I have?
John.
Elton.
John.
Hanson.
Oh, well, I didn't actually think
Hanson.
of John, but John would be wonderful.
Yeah.
John would be a fantastic musician to have along as at my dinner party, as long as you're just singing and playing and not joining in with the dinner party. I'm obviously
Know his
joking.
place, sir.
Yeah,
No,
hired hand in the kitchen.
No, I would love you to be there, John. I would love Fleetwood Mac with the late Christine McVie. I used to absolutely love Stevie Nicks, although the more I listened to the Mac, the more I just fell in love with... I just feel like Christine McVie sings to my soul.
Which Fleetwood Mac? The original? With or the later Poppy?
Peter Green, wasn't it? Is that his name?
Yeah, the Peter Green, at the start.
They were good.
Later.
We've listened to them in our music group, haven't we? They were good.
Pop Fleetwood Mac.
I'm going to go with middle.
Switzerland over there.
Just sit on the fence.
Molly, who are you going for? A singer or an artist?
Difficult decision. Of so many people I like. I went to see Hosier perform earlier in last year, and I don't know if anyone knows who Hosier is. Probably not. You probably know.
That one?
That's
Yeah.
the Muppet Show, isn't it? It was.
That's George Ezra.
Oh, that was similar. Oh, yeah, that is George Ezra.
No,
Sorry.
Hosier is an Irish singer. He is has the most fantastic voice I've ever heard live. He is incredible player of all instruments as well. It's just, the most amazing voice, and I love him. He's an Irish activist, and I think he is fantastic. So.
Not to be confused with the Hosiers.
No, Hosier.
Plural.
Hosier.
Single,
That's who
yeah.
I was thinking of.
Yeah, no, Hosier. Yeah.
And not to be confused with the Muppets.
No, not to
No.
be confused with
No.
Animal.
He is. He is, in fact, my favourite singer, and I'm going.
Similarly highbrow.
I don't know who I would have actually. I should have really thought about this when we were going around the room, shouldn't we? There. Go on. Then who do you think I'm going to say?
The obvious one that he.
Oh, I know who you'd say, John.
Obviously.
You'd say Dave Grohl,
I
right?
don't know. I don't think I would.
No?
No.
Kurt?
No. I think,
Simon.
No, I think I would go for the guy from Manchester Orchestra. Actually, I've seen him do some just him on his guitar. He's got a beautiful voice. That'd be a guy nice to have in the corner. The guy from Andrew Hull from Manchester Orchestra. He's got a beautiful voice. Just him on an acoustic guitar. I think that would translate well for my guests. Rick Mail would love it.
Oh.
Billy Connolly, he could join in with his banjo, couldn't he? Yeah. I think I'll go with Andy Hull from Manchester Orchestra. Right, last but not least. Oh, hang on, I've jumped ahead too far there. Hang on. A sports star or inspirational person, someone that you're inspired by, or it doesn't have to be sports, but obviously someone that might have achieved something like climbed a mountain or swum a river or swum a bath or sat in baked beans for 24 hours. Tony, which sports star would you invite along? Somebody who you think will have some good stories or inspirational?
Muhammad Ali.
Nice.
Yeah, great one. That was
Cassius Clay. But obviously for his boxing but also for his political stance against Vietnam and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great fare at a dinner party, wouldn't he? Funny man. Plus, so many inspirational events that he's been involved in, and political, his political stands on certain issues to do with Vietnam and stuff. Phil, a sports star or someone inspirational to you that's achieved something or stood up for something and stuff, and you think they might have an interesting story for your dinner party. Who have you got? Phil's giving it deep thought.
Who was the guy that was the one of the big pushes in the post office scandal? The Alan
Oh.
Bates.
Yes.
Just because you come across it so many times. You're up against a big blob of organisation. No matter how much you know you're in the right, you're just not getting anywhere. But he kept going and going and going. That'd be interesting to see what propelled him forward.
Yeah, yep. Good answer. M, who are you inviting? A sports star or inspirational person?
Yeah, from sports, I would choose Djokovic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Because he stood for his belief.
Yep.
I mean, he didn't care, what
Affected out in his career. Yep.
And he
stood firm to his beliefs, his morals, and his code of practice. Yeah.
And he does loads of charity, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, great guy,
And
great
he's
tennis
adored in
player.
his country.
Yeah.
He is literally he's worshipped in Serbia.
EJ, who are you inviting? A sports star or someone inspirational?
It's funny to lump those two together.
Yeah,
Well,
that's all
as
good.
in,
I used to just ask sports, but people that didn't like sports would look at me blankly and like, I don't like sports. I've given you an option.
Okay, on the spur of the moment, Maradona.
Yeah, he'd have some tales, wouldn't he? He'd have some
Yeah.
interesting tales.
I'm sure he'd bring the fun to the party.
At least he's not boring.
Exactly, he's
I don't want boring, do you?
Interesting.
No.
And the reason that people love him because he's a man of the people as well. He grew up in slums and the poor areas and went on to be one of the greatest footballers of all time and put Argentina on the map. So that's why he was such a hero to the Argentinian people.
And then he went back to Boca
Yeah.
to play, didn't he?
Yeah, famously managed the team as well, or the country. Jack, who are you going for? A sports star or inspirational person?
the great footballer Martin Luther King.
Good in the air. You send him up for corners. He won all his headers.
Really feature my. So yeah, I think someone who's sparring politically.
Yeah, you can have Martin Luther King.
I think so. Yeah, those kind of figures inspire me a lot.
Who are you inviting? Sports star Torval and Dean, is it?
No,
Yeah.
no, sorry, Torval and Dean. No, when I was really young, I thought Daley Thompson was my idea of Superman.
Yeah.
I thought he was really quite amazing.
The decathlete.
but I'm not sure what it would be like at a dinner party. So I think
doing laps around the table, throwing the salt pot.
About him whistling during the
yes, yeah,
anthem,
I know. But
What's that?
When he did he win the gold for decathlon?
I can't remember.
When they played the national anthem, he was standing there whistling. And I remember there was complete outrage in the newspapers and media.
What was he
whistling? Generally, or just whistling along with the national anthem?
I don't know. I wasn't next to him. I couldn't hear him.
We demand facts.
That's so odd.
Surely he was whistling along, wasn't he?
He might be doing the desk hand.
Yeah.
oh,
That's right.
yeah.
But I remember
Harmonising.
in the newspapers, they criticised him too much for
So
whistling.
if I was going to invite somebody, actually it's Mo Farah, I think.
Get out.
Because
Because he can run for a takeaway.
No, I don't like you doing that.
Because again, I remember him in the 2012 Olympics, and I was standing up, shouting and screaming at the television and willing him on to beat, But also this revelation about his background,
It's amazing,
and
isn't
how
it?
he actually
It's
came
incredible.
here, and then he felt that he had to tell everybody about it.
Courtney, who are you inviting? A sports star or inspirational person?
I could name about 4 sports stars.
Come on then, hit us up. Which one are you inviting?
Well, what did you say? Mo Farah.
Daley Thompson.
Yeah. No, I would choose
Dean.
inspirational person, but then again, I couldn't pick just one. So it's kind of in the same category, but I follow a few people on Instagram, such as Alex Light London. There's Megan Crabb. They do a lot of work for sort of body neutrality and encouraging joyful movement. So moving away from sort of the negative connotations that can be found in diet culture and encouraging people to just move in a way that feels good for them. So I think, Why Kate is another one as well, who I really like. So I'd invite one of them.
Yeah.
If it had to be someone
Interesting.
sporty, then
Good
it'd be,
answer.
one of them.
Fitness-based.
Interesting. Yeah.
Molly, we know your answer, don't we?
you don't even
Lord,
need
we don't need to ask. It's the Andy Murray fan club.
Obviously.
Let her have a say.
Obviously. I mean, it's got to be. Although I really liked your answer with Mo Farah. I think his story is really interesting. His background in Somalia, I think that's fascinating. I like that answer a lot. No, Andy Murray, obviously. Just loved. I watched him growing up, winning everything. He was amazing. Just obviously my inspiration. Winning Wimbledon for the first time was one of the best days, obviously, of my life. It was incredible. And I've said this before, but just the biggest advocate for women's sport, women's tennis, which I obviously love him for as well. So yeah, easy answer for me.
Not to mention his dedication to come back from his hip injury, which a lot of people wouldn't have bothered coming back from. And
I believe last week he said that he was only going to play until the end of the summer. So that will be, yeah.
Well, he's retiring, isn't he?
Yeah, he gets asked. It annoys me so much.
Yeah, I saw him snap.
They ask
that kept asking him and said,
if you're constantly
we'll see.
asking him when he's going to retire, he's going to retire sooner.
Yeah.
They keep asking him, and every single time they get the opportunity, just let the man play.
if he's enjoying it, let him carry on. Don't need to put a finite date on it.
Yeah, he's been saying that till the end of the summer.
He's quite good at field.
No, he's playing for fun. He's playing for fun.
He's just there.
I hope to see. He's the only man to ever win 2 Olympic golds in the singles consecutively, and so it'll be interesting. I know I'm very doubtful he will win this year, but it'll be great to see him play at the Olympics again this year.
Well, me and Molly had a conversation recently. Some guy was riding his case, weren't they, saying to him, I don't understand why he's still playing because he can't reach the levels he was before and he's just tarnishing his legacy. And I was saying, well, I don't think he is at all. He's shown that he's playing for the love of tennis now. Because he didn't think he'd ever play again, and it's the surgeon who've done such a good job that he can actually play tennis again, and he's just playing because he genuinely loves playing tennis, which a lot of people don't get after an injury. So I think it's inspirational on that front rather than it being a criticism. I think it's a positive.
I still, even though it's torturous, I still love watching him play. Even the other day, So, you know, even though he's not winning, it's just so good to still see him
He
playing.
beats himself up.
He does,
so bad,
he does.
Doesn't he? For like nothing all the time. It just.
I like
so
watching.
Andy, if you happen to be listening, please
get in contact.
visit Molly.
Please.
We'll
You will
pass on
make
your
her
details.
life.
You will.
Visit Scotland quite often.
Yeah.
I like watching Rafa Nadal, Molly, but he takes too long between points on him.
does.
And my nan pointed out a thing to me once when we were watching him, because she used to love watching tennis with me, that he picks his bum all the time, like, you know,
Does, he
before
has
he's
a
about
routine.
to. Yeah, he picks his bum and
No,
he picks
he
He does
his
that
pulls
strange
his-
thing.
yeah, he,
So
he,
he
he like touches that.
So he
and
has
then
OCD
yeah,
really
and
about, or not OCD, but it's his ritual. So his
Yeah.
water bottles have to be lined up the
Yeah.
same way. And when he
And he
goes
picks
to
his
serve,
shoulders and he
pulls
gets
he pulls his shorts,
Yeah,
and then
pulls his
he
shorts.
does both sides of his hair.
Yeah,
It's a ritual
like
thing.
that.
It's just like
For
a.
every single
Yeah.
set.
He does
every
every
single point.
single one.
Wow.
He
Yeah,
doesn't
he picks
pick his bum.
he picks
I
the
shouldn't
pants out of his.
get too focused on
unwedges
it. Looking
himself. Yeah,
into the
unwedges
abyss, it
himself.
looks back at you.
And wedge
Yeah.
himself.
It reminded
that's
me of
interesting.
someone I actually might want to change mine
Go on.
now. I'd have Valentino Rossi.
You can have
You
him.
reminded me
Yeah,
because
you
he
can have
has a
him.
thing that
Yeah,
he used to do.
yeah.
Picking his bum.
You can have.
Yeah, he used to pull his leathers
Pull his-
out of his bum
Yeah.
when he was going down the pit lane and then adjust himself in the front every time.
That was the bit you'd look out for.
That's a name.
Then he'd wave at the camera.
What sport was that?
It's motor.
MotoGP.
Yeah.
Oh,
I haven't
wow.
heard that
You
name
wish-
for a long
you wish you were
time.
commanding the
Yeah.
cameras at the time that you could.
No, the camera on the back of the bike. It's a little camera.
As someone,
Is this going to be cut?
probably. Yeah.
Oh, that gets through. I think
that
there's
gets
a. I think it's double
Who
standard.
who knows the rules anymore, Phil? Who knows
Yeah.
the rules anymore?
Most of this is going to get cut. This is going to be like a half an hour
I'm
episode.
sorry. Can I just say one boring thing
Go on.
quickly?
Never feel.
I do think you have to be careful when you judge people in history. You know, even just 10, 20 years ago, you know, no one is going to be perfect. They're all going to be a product of their time. People look at us 20 years, 50 years from now, they're going to say we're all absolute so-and-sos because we didn't do X, Y and Z.
Yeah.
If there's anyone here to say anything in 20 or 30.
Yeah, so you're right. You're right there. I made the
The
assumption.
cockroaches will be judging us.
Yes, when they have the cockroach.
No, it ain't nice, but you know.
As someone that loves sport as much as me, I'd find it difficult to choose one person. I love cricket, I love tennis, I love football. I guess it would be. Yeah, I couldn't even begin to choose. George Best would be quite good, wouldn't he, to have at a dinner party with some of his stories. So the life he's led. I always tell the story to people that don't really understand why football is so important to men. That George Best was in Las Vegas once, and he was, and there was a young kid working at Las Vegas who'd come. I think he was from, he'd come over from England or so. He was a young English kid, and he was bringing champagne up to George Best's room. He went into the room. George Best was lying naked on bed with Miss World next to him, a pile of cash, and he was just bringing him champagne to him. And he said to him, in all sincerity, Phil,
Where's this
Mr.
going?
Best, where did it all go wrong? Because he could have given up playing football early. So that kid would rather George Best was still playing football. George Best's point was, I'm doing all right, you know, I'm in bed with Miss World, a pile of cash, and you're serving me champagne in Las Vegas. But he's like, this kid was like, you should still be playing football.
Yes.
You're one of the best footballers of all time.
Yeah.
And the regard and the love that everyone
Yeah.
had for George Best as
Yeah.
a football player, they just wanted to see him playing football still. So
I
that's,
think we need to have that discussion about platonic love, John.
yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, George Best was he was the fifth Beatle, wasn't he? They famously called him the fifth
George
Beatle.
Best was either really, really good on the field or really rubbish, depending on whether
Oh,
he
yeah.
dragged
Oh, I
back
see.
from
Yes,
Alpha
yes,
or-
yes.
Yeah, he played famously under the influence a few times. But yeah, I'm sure there's loads of people I've forgotten there, but I'll go with George Best because I think he'd be good fare at a party as well. Some of his stories, and he's a funny guy. He was a very good personality, George Best, isn't he? I remember crying at his funeral, actually. It was broadcast, wasn't it? And his son read out a poem called The Belfast Boy. Beautiful poem, if anyone ever reads it. It was sent in by one of his fans, and it's just a beautiful poem. It made me cry. The Belfast Boy, it's called. Now, last but not least, who is your eye candy? Who's sitting at the end of the table there, just so you can look at him and.
Did you approve this, Molly?
No, she was not at all on board with this one. But who's the eye
Considering
candy?
we've only got like 5 minutes left, I think
Let's
maybe
quickly
we
go
should-
around the room. Who's your eye candy at the end of the table?
I change habit of lifetime.
Yeah,
I'll give you this. The Judgment of Paris. You know that?
right.
Right. So he was asked. So basically, that's right. Yeah. The god of discord bowled an apple into the middle of the meeting of all the gods and goddesses, and it said to the most beautiful or handsome person in the room, and there was uproar as all the gods and goddesses tried to take it. You know. So Paris was asked to judge which was the most beautiful, and as you rightly say, that all led to the Trojan Wars and this, that, and the other. It's not an avenue you want to go down.
No. Okay. And finally, what meal would you serve your guests? Let's frame it another way. What would be your last meal if you were on death row? When you got to have one more meal before you left this mortal coil, what would be your final meal?
Why am I on death row?
I don't know. We don't have to
What
go
did
into
I
that.
do?
I don't want to reveal on the podcast what you've done. So, Tony, what's your last meal? Like, it could be like a nan. Mine would be my roast cooked by my nan, or my nan's egg and chips kind of thing. But you can have any kind of food, or your favourite food, or something with an emotional connection to you.
I'll have a decent ruby.
What curry are you having?
I don't know, just a good one. Whatever.
If you could-
Danzak or something. A decent Danzak.
If you could go to any curry house to have that meal, where would it be?
A Danzak, I'd go down the bush.
Bush, down Shepherd's Bush. Shepherd's Bush, yeah.
That's renowned for its, yeah.
Yeah. Phil, what's your final meal? What are you having? If you could have one final meal on this mortal coil?
I know what I would do, but this wouldn't get through. I mean, I have...
What? It's food.
Yeah, sort of food. Type of food.
Chocolate coated.
The mind
No.
boggles what he's going to say now.
No, it's just... Listen,
What are you gonna say?
someone said to me on the walk, you know, so you smoke? I said, no. Drink? No. Take drugs? No. And you know, say, oh, boring old so-and-so. All those things I haven't done in life. If you were just doing one thing and you knew you're going to be dead,
Yeah.
well, I'd have a go at some of those things I've never done in life. Why not? You've got nothing to lose.
Hell yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you know, I used to be a real snob in life. I used to say, oh, if it's on the popular book list, it must be rubbish.
Yeah.
But you read those books, they're bloody good.
Yeah.
If lots of people are doing it, there's got to be a reason.
Good point, well made. Good point, well made.
On the walk then, Phil.
Yeah.
Tony, if I could get you to go on the walk, I think I'd died and gone to heaven.
Boots now.
Yeah. Bother boots and all
I
that.
begged you to go on that walk. You just wait for it to stop, aren't you? So I was going to go. Yeah, I know you're up to. Well, you come next Friday then. 12:30.
What are you having? Your final meal?
Yeah, I would have stuffed tomatoes and peppers.
Oh, you're making me hungry now.
That's nice. Nice, yeah.
Cooked by EJ or
Cooked by anyone that knows how
anyone?
to cook them.
Does EJ know to make that
Does
or
that
not? Is that one of your? You do, yeah.
Good.
Southern fried. Not southern fried. What's that vinegar stuff you put on them? The
Vinegar.
tomatoes.
Balsamic.
Olive oil. I'm
Balsamic.
thinking of olive oil. I'm
Oh.
thinking of olive oil. Yeah. And I'm hosting. And I'm hosting the cooking
fried
group
tomato.
next week.
Those big tomatoes used to get wimpers, yeah, I remember.
EJ, what's your final meal?
I don't know, because I never really know what I want to eat.
Really?
Till
Till that
I'm
day.
hungry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What you fancying right now? If you could get any meal right in front of you now, what are you having?
I'm not hungry. Sorry.
Oh, come on, play the game. Come on.
Dear.
What do you eat when you're like feeling really poorly or run down? Like what's something that's
Nothing.
really comfort food or?
Whatever's in the kitchen.
Wow.
I mean,
Soup.
Yeah.
Chicken soup.
Good. Soup's
Make
very
vegetable
comfortable.
soup.
I
Bread,
love
yeah.
making a vegetable soup.
vegetable,
nice
lentil.
mix,
Yeah, soup.
It's a good enough answer. We'll let you
We'll
off
take
there.
it.
Jack, we'll take. We'll,
Soup.
we'll bank it and move on.
The first thing that came
EJ.
to mind for me was fish and chips.
Yeah. From anywhere in particular.
Well, yes. During the depths of lockdown, I used to go to Hamblin's in South Bristol, and they did. At one point, they said, "Oh, would you like some free curry sauce with your fish and chips?" And I was like, "Yeah, all right then." And since then, I had to have fish and chips with this curry.
They've corrupted you, have they, with curry sauce?
Haddock and chips. Yeah, I just used to go and sit in the park and watch the day finish. And just
Nice.
just
Attacked by birds trying to get
always
your
feel
chips
so
or not?
Healthy after a good fish and chips.
You do?
I don't know what it is.
All the
I feel like
fat
I've
and
had
the
a really
batter.
balanced meal.
with the curry sauce
Yeah,
as
it's the
well.
curry sauce, yeah.
Especially with the
That's what it is.
Curry
Washes it-
sauce
washes it through.
neutralises any unhealthy.
It's the fruits.
That's it.
It's adding
One
that
of your 5
chaser.
a day.
Sonia, what's your final meal?
Probably chicken noodle soup with
Chicken
vegetables.
noodle soup.
That's
Homemade,
nice.
or is there a particular brand you like?
No, homemade
Yeah.
is something I would make. Either that or roast lamb.
Oh, yeah. I like it
With all the
really
trimmings.
roasted, though.
And
Like,
I've got to
Taking
have
a
broccoli.
poor lamb with you as you
And
go.
I've got to have it with broccoli and a white sauce as well as the gravy that goes with it too. So
Shout out to our Jenny who loves broccoli.
I
Yeah.
love broccoli.
and carrots
With all the things
carrots
to
and
shout out.
broccoli and white sauce
Yeah.
as well as the
Yeah,
gravy.
that is nice. That is nice. You're making me hungry now.
Sorry.
yeah,
Courtney?
I'm starving. I'd have anything my husband would cook me because he's an incredible cook. Beef brisket, maybe some I love pork belly, like in a sticky Korean sauce
come
or
to your
something.
house,
Oh, yeah,
please?
we'll cook up a storm. Any like sort of barbecue food, but I think. If I actually just wanted to be comforted in my last few hours, it would be like a stew with loads of pearl barley because my grandma always used to. I love pearl barley. She used to always stick pearl barley. Tony's mouthing. I was getting onto the dumplings.
Yeah.
Has to have
Give us some
dumplings,
space.
but you need to make them, pop them in, and then put the whole thing in the oven so you've got the top crispy and the
Oh,
bottom
yes,
nice
that's
and
It's nice,
soggy
soft
in it.
and soggy, and
Yeah.
it soaks up all the flavour.
Soaks it up so much that there's no liquid left.
Yeah.
So then you've got to pour in more liquid.
Yeah.
You just keep
Is
it
this
going.
making you
then it
hungry yet,
becomes-
EJ, or not?
See, I grew up, we called them doughboys.
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 Yeah, because my family was
Doughboy. Doughboy.
cute.
Molly, what are you having?
Oh, such a difficult decision. I love so much food. Anything with noodles, like a really nice ramen, or something with like stir fry, tofu stir fry or something. I love making with teriyaki sauce or something. I love that at home. I also just love Italian food. Any pasta, pizza. A really nice, like proper wood oven pizza is always my favourite.
Now, as we reach the end of the podcast, obviously, Molly, this is your last one. It would be remiss of me not to get you to read the Friends Together description one last time.
You did it at the beginning.
No, I did,
Copy
but
and
you
paste
love
it.
doing it so much. What is the
like
Friends
the
Together
shipping forecast.
project all about?
No, you know what?
One last time. The final word should go to you, Molly.
For the final
For the final time, Molly.
We're
For the
gonna
final
miss it,
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We won't have you reading it.
We need
Can't
to
I say
We can use it
something
again,
else?
can't we? We can use
what, like
it.
goodbye or
Yeah,
something?
can't I say goodbye?
No, you
No, you have to say what the Friends Together project is all about, so we can clip it and loop it and use it again. So I'll have to say it each week.
You already said it at the beginning, just clip that.
Come on, Molly.
Good.
Humour us.
Friends Together project.
Once more with feeling, as they say when in the production world. Once more with feeling.
Oh, okay. The Friends Together project is a project run by myself and John at the moment. It's all focused on people aged 18 to 25 and 55 plus, about bringing people together to learn new skills, improve their self-confidence, and sharing stuff about their lives, which is exactly what we're doing on this podcast. So thank you. And
If everyone would like to join me in saying goodbye to Molly. Goodbye, Molly.
Goodbye, Molly.
Let's go around the room.
Cheerio,
I'm not going
Molly.
to say goodbye. I'm going to stay in touch. Yeah.
Yeah, good answer. Good answer.
Au revoir.
Au revoir
Yeah,
for
au
now,
revoir.
sweets.
Yeah.
Well, a little surprise. Molly said she might still come along to the podcast on occasion if she's ever got a day off or
Oh, lovely.
working from home. Working from home, in inverted commas, about cut that bit out.
Is that
do that.
control John and make sure he
Make
does
sure I don't.
inappropriate thing.
he'll have somebody else doing that. I'll just, you know what? The first podcast I come to, I will be encouraging John to say all of the stuff he shouldn't, and it will be very entertaining.
Because you'll get to watch his new boss.
Yeah.
Squirm in their
Squirming.
seat.
And on that note, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
The Let's Be Frank podcast is brought to you by the Oasis Partnership, a charity providing high-quality social and psychological support services to improve people's mental health and well-being. We deliver socially inclusive, open-access support for the wider communities of Buckinghamshire through pioneering and innovative partnerships and initiatives. Oasis provides free and subsidised health and wellbeing classes and support groups for the Chiltern area, including mindfulness, yoga, fitness, art and music. Oasis also helps support people to reach their full potential through our substance misuse treatment service, Routes to Work and outreach service. The Oasis Substance Misuse Treatment Service is provided in partnership with Inclusion, part of Midlands Partnership NHS Foundation Trust, delivering one recovery bucks. The Let's Be Frank podcast was launched in tribute to the memory of long-term Oasis patron and world-renowned cinematographer Frank Hodge, and is recorded in the Frank Hodge Podcast Studio, our new community podcasting facility launched in his honour.